Hello, welcome to smarthelpme.com. I'm Jason. We've got a huge update to the equipment rental model. So what I'll do is go through each tab as well as the updates. The base of the assumptions works the same. You've got a purchase schedule where you have up to 100 equipment items, and these could be batches. It doesn't have to be individual items. You've also got their cost, the purchase month, and the end date if applicable, and the utilization of each equipment piece on average per month over 10 years. You've also got costs related to renting the items out and returning them if applicable, and the frequency that happens on a monthly basis, or how many times is it rented out per X months. So for here, 3 means every third month is rented out. Pricing is just defining the revenue per day. There'll be a calculation based on that to figure out total revenue based on the count of um, or based on the items listed here. So if you had if this were to be a batch of let's say 10 tow mowers, then your pricing should represent the 10 total tow mower costs if you're batching. Running costs simply have fixed costs. You can enter in a dollar amount here. It's the monthly cost per year. The repairs and maintenance is a variable cost based on the total non-depreciated equipment value over time. So if you bought $1 million worth of equipment and not discontinued any of it, 1% of that's going to be your monthly repair and maintenance. So one of the new tabs added is startup costs, which is just to catch all if there's some other costs that haven't been identified. Also, you could enter reserves here. The CapEx is new. This is running mostly off the purchase schedule, but now we're automating depreciation. So that's another new thing. We've got depreciation logic, also a building purchase and sale logic if applicable, and this defines the accumulated depreciation as well as book value and net gain or loss, which is going to flow to taxes. So we've added some tax logic as well. Also, terminal value, that's new. There was no terminal value previously. It's now a multiple of EBITDA in the exit month, which in the exit month can be dynamic. So here on the front page, you find the company name, start year, start month auto-populates. Exit month can be dynamic or it could be NA. You don't have to have an exit. And then your exit multiple is defined here, as well as any debt. And there's also checks to all your cash checks here. And this checks balances to make sure everything is matching on the balance sheets, income statements, distributions, and everything is all lined up. So terminal value, and then here you can define a percentage of the exit proceeds that are going to go to fixed assets. So when you sell a business, it's not all going to go to income. Some of it could be applied to your fixed assets. So that's all automated. You just got to put a percentage in. Also, I've added a formal cap table. So if you're raising money, you could do up to 20 slots for outside investors, also for inside investors, and define their percentage of common stock. I also added preferred class A and B shares. You define the percentage ownership of each share class and for each entity, as well as what they contributed, if anything. There's also a distribution schedule here with the internal rate of return for each entity based on the contribution distribution results of the assumptions, and a check down here to make sure it all matches. I did add formal financial statements. So here you've got income statement, which is going to account for your taxes and extraordinary gain or loss on the sale. If you scroll to the far right, you can see that logic is taking place there. And I did income statement monthly and annual for all of these. They're monthly and annual. You can also hide and unhide some of the rows. Here's the balance sheet. See the total checks down there. Balance sheet annual, same thing, just on an annual basis. And then also a cash flow statement. So before, the cash flow statement, or the cash flow was, the whole model was just kind of a general cash flow model, but it wasn't formalized. Now it's formalized into the appropriate accounting formats. So it's just improved to look more professional. Distributions is also a new tab, and it has discounted cash flow analysis with net present value as well as internal rate of return. So it's the total cash, positive monthly cash flows, negative monthly cash flows, contributed equity, and available to distribute each year accordingly. And this is just because in the final year there's a lot of taxes that come in, so there's a negative cash flow for that, but it offsets against obviously the exit proceeds. So that'll always be positive. And then there's some checks here to make sure this matches the cash flow balance. Executive summary was revamped, added all the items in here that we need, and this is also, this will always match your cash flow if you sum it up. Monthly detail, here's where you can actually see the revenue earned from each item, costs, loan, debt service, total debt balance, and then other cash flow items. Those were all added. In general, we just have a whole lot of formatting updates, added professional looking financial statements, added a lot of support. It's just a way higher functioning model. So, and this was the third most popular template I've ever sold, and I'm really happy to do all these things for it. And it's just, I feel, I want to feel good about sending people this template, which I do. So go ahead and check out smarthelping.com. I'll also put it on Eloquent Financial Models. Link is in the description box below. I'll see you on the next one.